Yo sup, this is your boy NY3 and this is the Invoked section for the Zing Zephra deck. Now the synergy between Invoked and Zephra is of course again the field spell toolbox. Terraforming, great card, especially when we have two different targets to search. Set rotation, great card, especially when we give our opponent Oracle of Zephra, which they can't activate since they're not running any Zephras in their deck. The Zephra is also an archetype of all 6 different attributes, so technically we can use cards like Oracle or Providence to search fusion material of all 6 attributes for the Invoked engine. But mainly, the Invoked engine serves as a great alternative to the Zodiac engine. Now I'm not saying that the Invoked engine and the Zodiac engine shouldn't be ran together in the same deck, but when we're adding Zing or Zephra to the mix, we simply do not have enough extra deck space to run about 4 to 6 fusions, 6 to 7 exceeds, and 6 to 7 synchros. Now the Zodiac engine does have a higher combo potential than Invoked, there's no arguing that, but the Invoked engine does have a much greater sustaining power than the Zodiac engine, as well as being able to counter the Zodiac engine. So for example, summoning a Wrap here into your opponent's established Trident is not going to accomplish much. They're just going to pop your one guy, you've already wasted your normal summon. If you don't have the Barrage or something like a Shuffle Reborn, your turn is done. Aleister, on the other hand, you can summon this guy into any kind of field and just not care. So I've had a lot of profit with Aleister, especially in sided games, if they only saw the Zephra half of the engine in the previous game and not see the Invoked engine, or if they even saw the Invoked engine and deemed that the Zephra engine was a bigger threat, they would commonly throw out boards such as Trident Tornado, which the Invoked engine completely doesn't care about, except of course Magical Meltdown, but Aleister himself does not care about Trident Tornado. Tornado's not doing anything. You summon Aleister, you don't care if their Trident pops Aleister or not, since Invocation can fuse from hand, field, or grave. And if you fuse into a Mechaba, Trident's pop is going to be irrelevant. Whiptail Banish effect is also going to be irrelevant. And that's not even 2 different. And one Mechaba negate neutralizes both of them at the same time because they're both going to be on Trident, the same card, and on the following turn, the Mechaba is going to be able to negate one of the Zodiac players' plays. They're probably only going to have 2 plays, one from their normal summon, the other stemming from a Barrage or something like that. So, this is going to negate half of their plays pretty much, if you manage to clear a Zodiac player's field. So the Invoked engine, also for sided games, the Invoked engine doesn't care about things such as Unending Nightmare, which would normally destroy Pendulum decks. Baiting Barrier on fusions with the Invoked engine is also really nice. Or the other way around, if your main play gets barriered, the Invoked engine can allow fusions to follow up. Another cool bit of synergy between Invoked and Zephra is that Zephra never normal summons, and the Invoked engine guarantees a normal summon every turn by looping the Aleister with Invocation. And of course, with all of the searchability like Terraforming and set rotations, you can search a normal summon when you need one, or you could search a scale when you need one. There's not many combos involved with the Invokes. As I said, they're just a very strong sustain engine rather than a combo engine. But there is one main combo that makes this pretty strong in a Zing or Zephra deck. And that is the Aleister plus level 1 tuner opening hand. Now Aleister, which grabs Invocation, being able to fuse from the hand, field, or graveyard pretty much indiscriminately, means that the Aleister becomes a free level 4 material for anything that you want, since there's absolutely no difference between it being on the field and in the graveyard for the purposes of fusion summoning. As a result, this makes Aleister the perfect card to fuel card costs. So, tributing Aleister off for enemy controller is a very strong play, making enemy controller essentially costless. Another very classic use for Aleister would be sending it to the graveyard for the effect of 1-1 and drawing 2. Great use for Aleister, Pot of Greed. For the Zephra side of things, if we manage to get something like Zefra out, we can tribute any monster to summon a Zephra from our deck, so why not tribute Aleister? It's free. The other obvious uses for Aleister would be to overlay it, which is why I say that the Invoked engine and the Zodiac engine are not mutually exclusive, since we can overlay the Aleister and then detach it to the graveyard and then use that as the fusion material. But since we don't have enough space, so using Aleister as a synchro material leads to some more impactful plays. So with this hand, Miscellaneousaurus is going to grab us the level 1 tuner. The Invoked engine also works very well with things such as the DDD engine, so with the Lamia generating the level 1 tuner as well. But yeah, normal summon Aleister, search Invocation. Another thing to note is that Foolish Burial becomes a very good card in these builds, since if you naturally open the Invocation, you can make it live by Foolish Burialing the Aleister. Banish it for Invocation, you can shuffle Invocation back, grab the Aleister back, and then normal summon again, get an Invocation, getting essentially 2 fusion summons on 1 turn of a Foolish Burial and Invocation. Foolish Burial also has other utilities. If you open the Aleister and a Foolish Burial, of course you can just go ahead and Foolish the Miscellaneousaurus to get our level 1 tuner to get to this point. But anyways, synchro for Ding Long search whatever you need, such as Scales, or these 2 cards were the only cards we have. Scales won't do us much good. Go ahead and grab the Counter Trap 9 Pillars. From here, depending on if you're running a Zing heavy deck or a Zefra heavy deck, you can do different things. If it was Zing heavy, then of course Ding Long dumps Chiwin. Invocation, fusing Aleister and Ding Long. For Mechaba, Ding Long floats into a random Zing. Shuffle Invocation back into the deck, grabbing Aleister back into our hand. This gives Mechaba at least a monster negate if we need it, or if we don't need it, we're guaranteed a normal summon. We're guaranteed not just any normal summon, Aleister normal summon, which is pretty impactful. If Mechaba goes to the graveyard, then we can summon a second Mechaba. We already have the Dracaiolo in the graveyard, so we can summon something like Purgatrio for game on the following turn. Of course, Ding Long could have dumped something like Pulao, or if we were running the Zephras, we could have easily searched Zefra and Pilica with the high searching capabilities of the Zefra engine, and these are wins for us to summon Invoked Raijin. Raijin is really good against Zodiacs right now, since it plays around the heavily popular Shuffle Reborn. You flip their guy face down. It's much better than actually removing it from the field, since they can only Shuffle Reborn if they have an empty field. But set the 9 Pillars and pass turn. So pretty solid setup. For 2 cards, we get 1 negate. Chiwin floats back. Jiao2 floats into either Suani or Bian for our Zing focus builds. So if it was Bian, then we get the Herald of Arclight. If it was Suani, then we get another Ding Long. Quick synchro on our opponent's turn. So yeah, it depends if we needed that extra negate, or if we are free to search something that would progress our own game state, such as Zing Path, and of course the Mechaba monster negate. If we were playing a Zephra build, then exactly the same thing. So after synchro summoning for Ding Long and searching a 9 Pillars, we Invocation for Mechaba. Ding Long is going to float down into Zefra. Invocation is going to get the Aleister back, and then we can set the 9 Pillars and pass turn. So really, it's the same thing. Well, the monster negate aside of the Mechaba, the Pillars negate. After popping Zefra, we can search Zefra Providence, which is really similar to making a second Ding Long, since we're searching, a way to progress our own game state on the following turn. If we had 2 scales up, then we could also search Zephra War of the Zefra, which gives us the 3rd layer of disruption, similar to how quick synchroing into Herald for the Zing version would have done. These are the main reasons why I favor the Zephra build over the Zing build, since you don't have to run any of these Zings. Drawing these are not that good. They're all normal summons. If you draw too many of them, you obviously can't utilize your hand to its fullest potential, since you can only normal summon one thing. Quick synchroing into Dinglong or Herald is really the same thing as popping your Zephra and searching a Providence or a War. If you had scales up, then you can do a bit more. If we just add a single scale to the mix, then we can get a lot more things going on. So for example, these 2 cards plus a Providence. So we can Providence for Oracle, for Zephra, and Zephra puts the Zephra into the extra. Miscellaneous Source for Aeolo, Invoker for Invocation. Synchro for Dinglong searches the other scale. Now refer to the first video because we can also make Stardust Charge Warrior stack the Maxi with Oracle and then draw the Maxi. But since we probably can't fit the Aleister engine along with the Zodiac engine in the same deck, it's probably not worth it, since that Stardust Charge Warrior combo also makes MX Saber Invoker to access the Zodiac engine later on. So searching the low scale is probably the better play at this point. Pendulum Summon Zephra, searching Pillars. Dinglong drops itself down to level 3, synchro into a light Earth Chelfing. The light isn't too relevant, but the Earth is definitely relevant this format. I would suggest everyone to just blind Earth Chelfing as much as they can, since everyone's playing Zodiacs, and an Earth Chelfing against Zodiac is just game, especially when you have 1 or more 9 pillars to stop any out they could have, such as Raigeki or something. Anyways, the Dinglong's gonna float into a Zephra, so this is what we want to be popping with the 9 pillars. And then we can Invocation, banishing Aleister and Dinglong from the graveyard to summon a Macabre, shuffle the Invocation back, get the Aleister back, so we have at least a monster negation with the Macabre, as well as a guaranteed good normal summon on the following turn if we need it, but we already have, our skills intact as well. After Pillars negate something, Zephra can also search another form of disruption in the form of Zephra War, which can pop Oracle as well as one of their cards from your hand, since our skills are Zephra's. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty strong combo for a deck that's not actually based around comboing. The video is kind of short right now, so I might as well show you one more combo. So this is how to access the Zodiac engine without drawing any Zodiacs, although I guess the MX Saber Evoker combo kind of already does that. But yeah, this can be done by opening Oviraptor and any level 4 that you can put on the field. So it could be Oviraptor Instant Fusion, or Oviraptor Photon Thrasher, or even just Summon a Monk and any spell in your hand, since Oviraptor triggers on special summon, or even Oviraptor Lost World. I like this the most, since you have a field spell you can pop off with Ancient Fairy Dragon later on, which makes the whole combo slightly stronger than it should be. So I'm just gonna go ahead with this sample hand of Oviraptor Lost World. So activate Lost World, normal summon Oviraptor, Oviraptor search, Lost World gives them a token. Oviraptor's gonna search Miscellaneous, discard Miscellaneous, but don't banish it, since Oviraptor is going to pop the token to reborn the Miscellaneous. Lost World protects their token by destroying a Baby Sarasaurus from the deck instead, and Baby Sarasaurus on destruction can special a Miscellaneous Saurus from deck. So this is where we get, our Oviraptor plus any level 4 field. From here, we're going to overlay for a Broadball the hard way, detach to search for Zodiac Whiptail. We're going to put a random Zodiac on it, and then Broadball again. Next, attach the Whiptail. Broad Bull effect, detach the Whiptail to search Tech Genus Warwolf. After that, Zodiac Chuckanine to summon Whiptail from the grave. And you can special summon Tech Genus Warwolf from the hand. Miscellaneousaurus from the grave. Summon Stracaeolo from the deck. You can synchro that with the Whiptail to access Dinglong. Since we have a field spell up already, we have the luxury to search 9 pillars at this point. Otherwise, we'll have to search, a scale to continue the same combo. You do need to run a Suwani for this to work, since Warwolf is level 3, so we're gonna have to send a level 4 to the graveyard if we want to make Ancient Fairy Dragon. Now, of course, you can do a lot of things at this point. You could send the Chi-Win to the graveyard and make your Herald of the Arclight, for example. But Ancient Fairy Dragon's a pretty cool card, so we're just gonna make that. Dinglong floats into Zephra. We can Trident pop the Zephra. To grab the Zefra Providence, Ancient Fairy Dragon can pop Lost World to grab Oracle of Zephra. Gonna activate both to search our scales. Set the scales. Zephra can put, another Zephra into the extra deck. Again, if you had a random level 4 in the hand that you can special summon with Ancient Fairy Dragon, then you could send the Zephraxathon to the extra deck instead. And then we can just get a random Tornado Dragon on top of the field if we wanted to. But yeah, Pendulum summon the Zephra, no search. Set the 9 pillars. Pretty solid opening. We didn't have a single scale, and we didn't have a single Zodiac. But we still managed to end on Trident pop, 9 pillars negate, searching Zefra War for another pop, all from just an Oviraptor and a random level 4 that you can special summon to the field. But yeah, that has been this video. If you're interested in purchasing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, such as the ones shown in this video, consider buying from YGOsingles.com. By using the discount code NY333YGO, you can get a 5% off.